Con franquicia, sin franquicia. What on earth does this mean when it comes to importing your vehicle? We're going to try and do more videos like this where we explain during the various administrative processes you're going through in Spain, the phrases and things that you see that you might Google and think, what on earth does this mean? And this is something that was brought up recently. I think this is a great one to get kicked off with. And basically, this is all to do with the direct translation not meeting what it actually means in a word. Okay, so we've got plenty of videos on this channel which explain the import process of bringing a vehicle into Spain. There's also a full video, I'm going to put the link below, which explains what you need if you're going to waive the tax or you're going to pay the tax when bringing a vehicle into Spain if it comes from outside the EU. Remember, EU vehicles do not need to go through the customs process. Non-EU vehicles do need to go through the customs process. So when you pass the customs process in what they call aduanas is customs here in Spain, you will need to either pay the 21% VAT or 10% duty, or waive the 21% VAT and 10% duty. Okay, we know customs is run by the tax office. Basically, they have physical offices in most of the ports in the main provinces, or you can employ a customs agent to do the presentation for you. Most people who bring vehicles actually bring the vehicles before they go through this process, because if you are waiving taxes, before you can waive the taxes, there's certain things you need to do here first, like registering on the Padron. If you're coming as an EU citizen but bringing a car from a third country outside the EU, then you will need to register as an EU resident here. If you've got a visa, you would need to register your visa, etc, etc, etc. As I say, there's more videos on this channel which explain the exact requirements. But this video is specifically about the terminology that they use and why it's confusing. So, sin franquicia. Sin franquicia is the phrase or term when you are paying tax on an import. In this sense, we're talking about a vehicle. It does work for other personal imports, but we're talking about a vehicle here. Okay, so if you're bringing your vehicle, when we approach our customs agent who we work with, who does up the presentation of all the paperwork on our client's behalf at the customs aduanas tax office, they always ask us, is it sin franquicia or is it con franquicia? Franquicia, if you do a direct translation on Google, it actually means franchise, which you think, well, how on earth does that relate to what I'm doing with a car? I'm not franchising my car out. Okay, but what in this instance, it means, are you applying to waive the tax, which would be con franquicia, with the tax waiver application, or if you're not, then it's sin franquicia. I am not applying to waive the tax, which means automatically you'll be charged the relevant VAT and duty. When we make the applications to the aduanas through the customs agent, and we have to specify if it is sin or con, the document requirements are different. If it's sin franquicia, then we have no need to prove, we have to prove ownership of the vehicle, okay, which could be with contracts or the original documents. For example, I've recently imported a vehicle for the Upsticks Drive department and team here at Upsticks, and the original vehicle documents were not in my name, but I proved ownership of the vehicle with a sales contract, and that was absolutely fine because I was paying the import tax on that vehicle. The only other documents they needed were proof of who I was, proof of the vehicle, etc, etc, etc. As I say, there's videos on this channel which explain. Okay, but that was sin franquicia. I wasn't applying for a tax waiver. I just wanted to take my car through the customs process, pay the tax, and then use the document that you receive once that's been completed to register it at the DGT. I'm going to explain in a minute what that document is. Con franquicia is different. Con franquicia is when you are waiving, should I say, the taxes and bringing a vehicle into Spain. In this case, you have to meet certain requirements. You have to have owned the vehicle for 6 months. You have to have proof of where you've come from. You have to have proof of where you've registered in Spain. Okay, so all these, again, we'll got videos on this, put the links below. All these requirements must be met before you can apply for an import con franquicia. Okay, so when you come to Spain, if you're changing residence, and you've got a visa, maybe you're an EU citizen, and you're bringing your personal items, your personal goods, in this instance we're talking about a car, you will have to apply to go through customs con franquicia. If, for example, you own a property here and you fancy bringing a car out to leave here and register here, but you've got no intention of becoming a resident, then you will be applying to go to customs sin franquicia and paying the taxes. Okay, so this is this kind of terminology we want people to get used to. Once you've done either a con or sin franquicia import, you will receive a document called a DUA, okay, which is Documento Único Administrativo, right? This document is which proves to the ultimate authority, wherever you're going to register, whatever you're going to register, in this instance it's a car and they're going to be registered with the DGT, that you have waived or paid the tax on this good, and you can register it in Spain. You will not be able to register your vehicle in Spain if it comes from outside the EU without a DUA. Okay, this is Documento Único Administrativo. So there we are. It was just, I'm going to put some notes below about these phrases and things that you're going to learn as you come over. What we've learned today is con franquicia, sin franquicia. If you Google franquicia, it's only going to come up with franchise. It doesn't have that exact meaning. And the document you'll get afterwards is a DUA, Documento Único Administrativo. I hope you've liked the video. We're going to have some more videos coming up like this. I want to talk about things like IVTM, EB, etc, etc. There's a lot of phrases and stuff which never come out in the Spanish lessons, but they're good for you to know, because literally when you hit the ground, if you're doing things here in Spain, obviously if you're importing your vehicle through us, we'll be doing this for you and explaining along the way what the different terminology is. But if you're doing it yourself, and the first time you drive down to the port and you bring your vehicle, you bring your paperwork, they're going to say, is it con or sin franquicia? You're not going to know what they're saying. So hopefully this helps somebody out there. Anyway, thanks for watching the channel. Hit the bell, likes and all that business, and we'll be getting more videos out of this sort in the new year.